volume all the way up.
Can y'all hear us? Hey, Celeste. Hey, Zakia. Hey, Keisha Bell. Can y'all hear us?
Yes, they can. How's everybody doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, y'all.
Trey Moore, where you been?
Hey, Trey. Hey, Shonda from Houston, Texas. Hey, Courtney. Hey, Trey. I said, hey, Trey Mar. I'm sleeping on my job. Hey, Zakia. Hey, Angie. Hey, Wanda Briscoe, who was down the street from us. You been hiding? We on the phone. That I don't know what's going on with the
It's the enemy. Don't even. It's the enemy. He attacking us just like he attack everybody else.
yeah.
It's
We
all
just still feel like we in a twin bed. Like, come over some more. Like, well, come over some, baby. I
you
know
good
you
now.
been busy, Traymar.
You
We
good.
know that's how life be.
But it's good to see you. Or at least see your name.
Mm-hmm. Traymar, you have to come over to the private group. Hey, Lori. Hey, Pandora. Hey, D. If who moves too close? Hey, Naomi. Hmm. Sanika Hendricks. Hey. Happy Tuesday, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, Brigitte. How are you? What worked? I don't. It's going so quick. You gonna be cutting up in the private group? I already know. Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope y'all staying cool and dry. Wow, I am daughter of God. To God be the glory. Hey, Miss Erica. Hey, Melinda. Tremar, you might be older than me. What did you say? Your big sister. You might be older than me. Hey, Mama Nat. Hey, Alex. What is the secret to a happy marriage? The man above. You're coming to the private group the first of the month? Yep. That's when we our next group meeting. Hi, Dr. Ann McDaniel. All right.
So how's everybody doing? I just want to thank y'all for joining us. For those of you that don't know, if this is your
Hey,
first time, this is
Kelsey.
Terrence and Jill, a God-Ordained Union.
Yes, yes.
We have been doing this now for about 4 years. We have right under, I think, 800 videos out there.
Do we? Is it that
Yeah,
many?
yeah. It's either right under 600. I mean, right under 700. It's right under 800. I looked at it a couple of days
Oh
ago,
my
just
God.
to see
We've
how
been
many we
doing a
have.
lot.
So yeah, it won't be long. We're gonna be at 1,000 videos.
Oh my God.
So when you ask us if we can direct you to a particular video, don't be surprised if it take a minute for us to think of the title or what have you, because we've been doing this since we got engaged.
Yes, yes,
And there are a
yes.
lot of videos.
Yes. So if this is your first time on our channel, um, we're gonna kind of recap our story tonight a little bit because there's some points that a lot of you have been asking for that we haven't. We kind of
We haven't shared in a
we
long
haven't
time.
shared in a long time. So hey from Pakistan. But if this is your first time on this channel, you're probably feeling like, you want to be married, but maybe God has not heard your prayer. Maybe you're thinking God does not want you married. Maybe you think that, you missed your person. None of the above. The enemy wants you to think all of that. If you desire marriage, God wants it for you. He ordains it. It is his will. And so on this channel, we encourage you on your journey to finding your person and sealing the deal. And so we're like your cheerleaders. And so our goal is for you to get married. But we were just thinking, like, because somebody was asking, well, they're almost at engaged. Like, do we just leave them? And we was like, man, I mean, we put in enough. We could at least, extend through the engagement period. And maybe the first year of marriage, we're learning a lot. We've learned a lot. We got a lot more to learn. But
And just
yeah,
like y'all, we're evolving.
yeah.
So, we're gonna learn as we go.
Yeah, yeah, but we don't right now. We don't give no marital advice. Like we ain't there yet. We not there yet. And so but we like to believe that we've mastered the dating season, like dating. Like I was in my 50s when I walked down the aisle. Terrence too. And so yeah, so we go live every
Tuesday.
Tuesdays. Right now, we go live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we do pre-recorded videos every Sundays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we live chat. And so, yeah. Also, we invite you to join us for prayer. Join us in prayer. Um, Okay, cause hold on. We invite you to join us in prayer on every Friday nights at 10:50. I keep saying 10:50.
It's 11:50.
11:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on Zoom. And this Friday, he's doing the opening remarks. So this Friday, Terrence is doing the opening remarks, and so yeah, so we invite you to join us in prayer. The information for the prayer call is on our website, GodOrdainedUnion.com, and um, yeah, also on the website, you can join our private group. So we have a private group because a lot of this is so open and public, and there's a lot of things you all want to share privately, some personal things, some situationships you could be going through. You could be, talking to the one. We don't know, and you might have some questions, and so we invite you to join us in our private group. Right now, it is a little small fee. 3 coffees. I said 2 coffees, but that would be like $5 and something. But 3 coffees, it's $11 a month. And so we meet every first and third Tuesdays at 8 p.m.
Right after this.
right after this. First and third Tuesdays. So the next one is going to be, I think, August 3rd. I think that's the next first Tuesday. So the first and third Tuesday we meet. To join our private group, which is called God-Ordained Connections, you can go to our website, www.godordainedunion.com, and join us. Also, a lot of you, I had mentioned months ago, if you would like to know how to do YouTube, start a YouTube channel, grow your YouTube channel, all that great stuff. If you are a member of the private group, I am doing a private session. It was going to be this Saturday, but we changed it to August 9th. August 9th. And so Saturday, August 9th, a private session for those in the group. Um, no additional cost or anything. Because we believe that everybody who is a part of us, our community, what we have, y'all got. And so we're sharing everything, how we grew our channel, how we started our channel, all of the everything that it takes to grow a YouTube channel. We have three. And so yeah, how to all that great stuff. How the Deuteronomy 28 effect is on the channel. We had no idea about money and how the money just like what the heck? And so all of that, and so if you're in your single season, you should be serving, and a great way to be serving is through your story, whatever God has brought you through, helping those who are still experiencing what God delivered you from, whatever that may be. And so doing that and telling your story on social media is very powerful and impactful. And so if you want to learn how to create a YouTube channel, August 9th, August 9th, August 9th. So those of you who are in the private group, the information about the call, all of that, the log on and all that, that's in the members area. All right. What else?
What else is you guys been asking for?
Terrence's math. Traymar said Terrence's math.
No, you guys been giving feedback saying that you wanted more, and we heard you. So we actually have been putting out the last week or so, and we're going to continue putting out an additional video. However, we need you to put on your notifications or turn them on because it may not be on the same day each week.
Right.
We're going to just put out an additional video, so it can be on Wednesday, it can be on Friday, it can be on Saturday, whatever day we're not doing now, it could fall on one of those days. So by having your notifications turned on, it would ensure that you're getting contacted when that's going to be released.
Yeah, because we don't know, because we almost like maxed out with the days between recording.
Now we got so much going on.
We got so much.
Something is going on almost every single day.
Yes. So you talking about serving. We've been serving, and it is to God be the glory. The website is a God-Ordained union.com. A God-Ordained union.com. Traymar said enable all notifications for this channel, folks.
And also for the fellas, you need to get on a private group because we need to start a men's group.
A subgroup.
We need to start a subgroup with the men so we can start feeding into each other.
Yes.
Okay? The name is going to be Kingdom Brotherhood. So we need to get this thing together, fellas, and we need to make sure we put ourselves in position to show the women that we got them.
Yes. Hey, Josh. It's good to see you. You and Traymar be faithful brothers. Yes. Woo. All right, so what we talking about tonight?
Tonight. There's a couple things I wanted to share tonight. One is here's something that I think is very important. We've been talking lately, about, you guys transitioning into another level. You've been elevated. God is elevating. Some of you are so close to meeting your kingdom person. You're in a transitional phase right now. And here's what we want you to make sure you understand. When you go through a transition, when you're being elevated, when you're in that quiet place, what happens is sometimes you're going to be stretched. It's going to be unfamiliar territory. So you have to know that going into it. It's going to feel like you're uncomfortable because you're in uncharted territory. But at the same token, the enemy knows and will try to fool you during this time. So you got to be on. You got to be prepared for it. So continue to pray. Continue to ask for clarity. Continue to ask for discernment. And just stay in God. Stay in God. That way you're going to be covered.
Yeah. It's like it's the place where you could self-sabotage. And sometimes, I don't know if you've been there, where you get to a place where you say, it feels too good to be true. And so you'll look for excuses to go back. The same thing that happened with the children of Israel when they were going through the wilderness and it didn't feel right. They were almost to the promised land. They was almost going in and it didn't feel right to them. And so they were willing to go back to Egypt. And so that's fine, Katrina. That is so fine. That's yes. You got to do what's best for you. But yes, so self sabotage is a thing. Is a thing. It's probably so many people have been right there, met the nice person, good person, and they self sabotage because they feel like it's too good to he or she is too good to be true. So I'm not even going to, let me find something wrong with him or her. Let me find something wrong with myself. And I'm just gonna just mess it up. And so it is a thing. And so I just want to warn you. We just want to warn you that you're about to go into some very unfamiliar territory. And you might question yourself, you might question the person, you might question God, you might question it all, where you'll talk yourself out. Don't talk yourself out of, don't abort the blessing that God has for you. And so just want to tell you that it's going to be a little unfamiliar. So just know. And like my husband said, you got to have discernment because you got to know the difference between what is God and what is not. So so yes. So
Yeah. So with that being said,
yes.
congratulations to those of you that are transitioning.
Yes, yes. And I know a lot of y'all feel it. I know you sense it in your spirit. We've had a lot of conversations with a lot of you. You've met your person. A lot of it is you're in the process. A lot of you are in the process of with the person, and you're going through those first stages of developing the relationship, and it's unfamiliar, and you might think of any little thing to make an excuse to cancel it out or to, and so just be very mindful, prayerful, and careful that you don't pick a situation apart or pick a person apart where you end up delaying again. And so yeah. So just wanted to put that out there.
And with that being said, let me share something with the fellas right quick. But ladies, I need y'all to pay
Wait a
attention.
minute, wait a minute,
What's
hold
wrong,
on.
baby?
I just had someone say they don't want to be friends. They don't want to be in a friend zone. Anytime you say I'm afraid, that's that's a block. When you start off, I'm afraid. I'm jumping from comment to comment. Um, okay. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay.
I-
What was that? Let me talk to the fellas. But ladies, I need y'all to pay attention to this because it's going to affect you as well. And I just want to share a little bit about my story since you guys are transitioning. So I remember coming down off the mountain. What I mean by that is I used to live in Asheville in the mountains before Jill and I met. So when I came down off the mountain, I just gotten out of my last situationship before her. So
What year was that?
that was
20
2017.
Okay.
2017. And so what I was going through then, I really wasn't looking for anybody. I wasn't looking for quote unquote a woman to get into a relationship with at all. I was actually focused on me. I was focused on getting myself. I was focused on God. I was doing some things to rebuild my relationship with him and to make sure I was in alignment and learning some things and getting back to hearing his voice and taking his direction. So if y'all remember when Jill first told our story from her perspective, she reached out to me first and I didn't respond to her. Now, I'm putting this in here on purpose because I want you to understand that you and the person God has for you, Up to this point, if God hadn't already introduced y'all, you're still on two different time frames. You're still on two different journeys. You're still on two different schedules. So don't take that if you see somebody you really interested in and that person doesn't reach back out to you, it doesn't necessarily mean they're not interested in you.
So let's put a pin in it for all because we got a lot of new people.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen our first videos, like our first 5 videos. So if you're new, welcome, welcome. We got some people that's following us that's even on here now. Wanda, Kelsey, that's been following us since like when it was only them two on the
4
video.
years ago. Yeah.
Yes, 4 years ago. So I was scrolling through social media and I came across somebody, a Facebook friend, who said that she had reposted something on Facebook that said these are the top 3 dating sites, and 2 of them I was familiar with, one of them I was not, and I was reluctant to go back on the dating site because the last 2 guys, like 10 and 15 years prior, that's where I had met them. And so I was like, been there, done that. But something said, go, try this dating site. So I went on that dating site, and we're not going to share what it is here. A lot of you know what it is, but we're not going to share here. So I went on that dating site, and I didn't like anybody. Like guys were like reaching out. I was just scrolling. Nope, 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 nope. And then I came across Terrence's dating site. Profile. His profile was when he came up, it was like, oh my God, like everything about him was like something's about this guy. And so I was waiting for him to reach out. He did not reach out. And so that was like in the summer. That was in the summer of 2018. And my membership was, I had did just a 3-month membership, and I hadn't heard from him. And I saw that he hadn't seen my profile. And so because he is who he is, like an honest guy and a guy of integrity, he put his entire name as his profile name. So me being me, I went to Facebook and I searched him. And the same profile picture he had in the dating site is the same profile picture he had on Facebook. So I reached out to him. Everything in me, I never would have done this. Ever. Too much fear, too much pride. I reached out to him and I said, hey, I saw your profile on such and such dating site. I said, if you are in a relationship or married, please disregard. I said, but if not, I would really love to, have a conversation with you, because the thing is that the dating site kept matching us. Like every time I was like, okay, well, this guy not responding, it would send another like alert, like y'all are like a high compatibility. And so I was like, clearly he's not on this site, or he's married or whatever, and he's letting his subscription run out. So I sent him the DM in Facebook, and when I sent the DM a couple of days later, Terrence responded, and he said, hey, wow, I haven't been on that dating site in 5 years. And that's how we say this, God works in the algorithms. I haven't been on that dating site in 5 years, but you went through the trouble of contacting me. I might as well just, the least I can do is give you a conversation. And I was like, okay, like slow your roll, dude. I was like, okay.
She said that like I was trying to be smart or
Yeah,
something.
He was
No,
like very confident, very confident. And I actually,
I've always been confident.
yes, I actually liked it. And so I said, well, I tell you what, I said, I have out of town guests coming in, and I did. My sister-in-law had just called to say that was pulling up from Maryland. I said, I have out of town guests coming in. I said, but in a couple of days, I'll reach back out to you and I'll give you my number. And he was like, cool. During that exchange of conversation, which was like maybe within 15, 20 minutes, within that exchange of conversation, I got an alert from Terrence from Facebook that he requested me as a Facebook friend. So of course, I accepted his friend request. A couple of days later, I reached out and said, hey, whenever you're available to talk, here's my number. That was in January. Crickets. You thirsty?
I am.
You want some of this?
So, like she said, crickets, right? I think I didn't reach back out to her, like, it's been what, almost a year or so before I reached back
The
out
end
to
of
her.
the year.
But here's the point I want to make about my story, my side of the story, is to let you know that,
Wait a minute, hold on. I want to read that.
huh?
I Am Media Production says, so they say that if he doesn't reach out, he's not interested. Question mark. But it goes back to what Terrence had
Right.
just said.
So what
Go ahead.
I'm going to answer that. So what I'm trying to get across is when you first meet somebody, regardless who initiates it, you can't assume a person isn't interested
Or interested.
if you don't hear back from them. And here's the reason why. Because before you two meet, God has you both on individual time frames and you're on individual journeys. I was in a journey that I wasn't on Facebook or on social media at all, or much of that time at all. And to be honest, I've shared this story before, and what I've shared was when I've got back on social media and saw that I had told her that I would hit her back and I hadn't, I just felt like she was going to cuss me out. I knew then that I was wrong because I didn't follow through, but I hadn't been back on social media. So my point is, just because I didn't hit her back, it doesn't mean I wasn't interested. Here's the other thing. There's a difference in me looking at her through my natural eyes and looking at her and seeing her through my spiritual eyes. At that point, I had not seen her through my spiritual eyes. So I was attracted to her, but I wasn't on social media, and because my mind wasn't on finding someone to date, I didn't realize that I hadn't reached back out to her.
I wasn't priority. Getting to know anybody was a priority.
So at the same token, what I'm also trying to share is when you first meet somebody, like she just said, you're not on their priority list.
You're not.
You have to earn being on that priority list. But this is where you have to believe and you have to trust God. Because that's when God will do exactly what you asked him to do once you told him that you're interested in being in a relationship to be married. God ordered everything so we can get together.
But also, let me also say, hey, caller. Also, let me just say that when he responded to me in the DM and say the least I could do is have a conversation, he was not on my priority list either. Because I said, well, we'll have a conversation in a few days after my family is gone. He was not, and I think that's the thing. I think in the beginning, people automatically start making priority and then wonder why there's a pullback or there's a seemingly not interested. I mean, I'm okay that I wasn't his priority because he wasn't my priority either. Right. My family was my priority. And so, so it was what, 9 months? No, it was like January. So then, and so go ahead.
So what I was going to say is, and Traymar, thank you for that reminder. Think about when God introduced Adam to Eve. Adam wasn't looking for her. He didn't even know he was missing anything. At that time, Adam had the perfect life. Everything in the garden for Adam was perfect. Adam did not get attacked by the enemy till after he got introduced to Eve. So my point is, what, fellas, you don't have to go out looking.
And
Trust,
that's a misconception
trust God,
too.
because so many people, yes, we are the one that should do the pursuing, but you don't have to go out and look for her. God will
place
position her
there.
where you can see her. That's why we have to be looking with our spiritual eyes. That's the difference. I can see her with my physical eyes and say, you know what? I'm attracted to her. But we're going to have a much stronger connection when I see her with my spiritual eyes. Have I lost anybody? Am I making sense? So I need y'all to understand, as y'all going through y'all's transition, and as some of you are starting to meet people for the first time that may or may not be the one for you, don't put your feelings too much in the first encounter.
Or the second.
Or the second encounter.
Or the third.
Because you have to give God a chance to work it out for you.
And work that speak.
Because now he's got to combine the journeys that y'all on and start connecting them together. Start putting things in y'all's lives that y'all going to have in common. All those things are going to be worked out for you. So don't rush the process. Mm-hmm. Understand that it is a process. The second before you meet somebody, you wasn't somewhere crying that you hope to meet that individual because you didn't know they existed.
So we had talked about this a couple of videos ago. So Terrence's attraction for me was a long time. Because, okay, so you came in my DM.
Mm-hmm.
So January is when we had the brief DM introduction. I don't know, between January and November, I think you said it was like August, he started to see me and just watch me on social media. And then he decided to reach out in November. We then went almost a whole year, because we were long distance. We went almost a whole year just talking on the phone. Mm-hmm. And so all of that was building connection and attraction and connection. But it wasn't until he saw me within 6 months he proposed. And so a lot of people are talking about, Wanda, you never know who's watching you. A lot of people want it to happen quick. But it just because they don't say right away, you're my wife, you're the one, it doesn't mean that they're not thinking it. Even though that, like, she could really be my wife, or he could really be my husband. Just because they don't say it, doesn't mean that they're not thinking it, or they're not seeking God about it. And so, yeah.
And see, what happened to me was, like she said, somewhere around that summer, I started getting back on social media. And as I'm strolling through my friends list, I see her picture, and I'm like, where did she come from? And now I'm showing an interest, okay? And after doing that for a couple months, I started asking, Lord, who is this woman? There's something about her. I can't get her out of my mind. I can't get out of my head. I need to find out where she is. I need to find out if she's local. I need to find out how I met her. And that's when I pulled up and saw that I didn't call her back. That's when I saw that for the first time. And it's like, oh, that ain't good. But my interest in her, my attraction to her was strong enough for me to say, you know what? If she cussed me out, she just going to cuss me out. I'm going to take that one. I'm calling her with the understanding that I might get cussed out, and I'm okay with that. And I reached out to her.
But I wasn't that type of woman. That wasn't me.
So my whole point of this is, you have no idea how God is going to connect you to the person. You don't know the time frame, but you got to trust in his timing. You got to trust in his plan for you. And you got to trust that he's going to orchestrate this in a way that it's going to be beneficial to the both of you, not just you.
Right.
And if y'all do this, I promise you, when you get with the person that God has for you, it's gonna be like magic. You're gonna be like, that's when sudden is gonna come back all of a sudden. It can take however long, the same time it took us. You're gonna say, that happened so suddenly.
Yeah, it did because yeah, it really did happen suddenly. It really did happen suddenly because when we did meet face to face, when we did come together, when we did meet face to face, we were really building a rapport. Like that's when the connection really, it was during the pandemic. So that's when the connection was really starting to build. Like, okay, like he was traveling to Raleigh like every other weekend or at least every weekend, every other weekend. And we were, dating. And it was just like, okay, but we didn't define it. We neither one of us had expectations. We was literally just enjoying
The moment.
the moment. We were in the present, join because it was during a pandemic. Like as far as we was concerned, the world had ended. I mean, it was so unfamiliar territory. It was unfamiliar territory. So we embraced it and we took each day, day by day. And the second time I came to Charlotte to visit, the first time I came to Charlotte, it was just like we just went to dinner or whatever. We just like had a date and I went home. The second time I came to Charlotte, Terrence proposed. And it blew me away. It was like, are you kidding me? Like, where did that come from? Like, he proposed. So that was December 2020. But in December 2018, I was contemplating, should I go and DM this guy that I keep seeing on the dating site 2 years prior. And so it did seem like a long time when you look at it from the stretch of that. But when you talk about from the time we had it face to face to the time he proposed, it was 6 months. It was suddenly, it was quick. And so, but yeah, everybody's, and there was a situation, which is a good time to bring this up. So prior to us meeting face to face, again, it was the pandemic. So things were crazy. A few months before we met face to face, Terrence we had made plans for Terrence to come to see me. And he didn't show up. And so I'm gonna let him tell you what it was. But again, priorities were in place and I was not his priority. And if you're insecure about that and wanting to be, you might be offended. But until, like he said, until you earn that spot, until you earn and you put in enough, time to earn as well. I hadn't even seen him yet. So I could not have, like, as a courtesy, of course, he could have said, I'm not coming. But it was a pandemic and he was priority to go to work. He never stopped working. His job never shut down. And so yeah, I mean, everybody's story is different. Everybody's situation is different and you cannot go by what somebody else said. Like you just can't.
Yeah, so be careful when you're speaking to friends, when you're speaking to family, and you say, I will never do this, this, or this, or somebody says this to me, or if they do that to me, I'm a this. Be careful what you say out of your mouth, because you may block your own blessing. Because you don't really know how you're going to respond until something happens. And I promise you this, you're going to respond differently with the one you feel is the one than you would with anybody else.
You talking about compromise, you talking about sacrifice.
The things that the two of us went through with each other we both know that if we wasn't who God had for us,
We wouldn't have done it.
We wouldn't have done the things that we've done that allowed God to continue moving us forward in the way that He has.
I wouldn't have never reached out. First of all, I wouldn't have never invested prayer. Let me just be honest, in somebody or for somebody. I wouldn't have never reached out to him on Facebook in his DM. The part that we didn't share here is that when we got the notification, when I got the notification that Terrence requested me as a friend on Facebook, what I did not know until months later was that anytime you DM somebody and they respond, Facebook automatically sends the friend request from the person you DM'd. Had I known that it was not him who actually asked me to be his friend on Facebook, I would have said deuces. But I even still kept him as a friend on social media. And so I remember when we finally got to see each other, and Terrence was doing all of the coming to Raleigh. He was doing all the driving to Raleigh. And I'll never forget, one of my girlfriends said, "You don't have a problem with him not inviting you to his home in Charlotte?" And I said, nope. But had I been my old version of myself, I probably would have had a problem. The second time I went to his house, he proposed. And so you can't go by what you just can't. When I say you got to hear the voice of the Lord, you got to, even when he did not show up, when we had quote unquote made it like a loose date that he was going to come to Raleigh before we had the official meeting, and he didn't show up, I could have said deuces then. And like a day or two later when he called, I was like, hey, I act like nothing. I mean, any other time, I would have said deuces. Any other time, I would have said deuces. But when I tell you,
that's why you got to go all in with God.
If you
go all in with God, He's going to not only order your steps, but He's going to give you a perspective that will keep you from responding inappropriately quickly to where you sabotage what He's setting up before it even gets started.
Right. And so this is what I always tell women. I always say, you're looking for consistency, but most women looking for consistency. Does he call every day? Is he going to, keep his word? That's not the consistency I learned to look for. Every time I spoke to this man, he had the same demeanor. He had the same kindness. He had when I say I had learned to look at character and fruit, I had learned to look at character and fruit. And when I saw him face to face, it went up I had earned his trust to a whole nother level. But the consistency of the same kindness, the same respect, all of that was still consistent. It was still there. And so when I look at consistency, that's what I look at. I look at the type of person that he is, his character as a person. It never changed. Every phone call we had, every conversation, every text, everything had the same consistent tone. Same tone. Every conversation. And so, yeah.
And ladies, I will tell you this, and all the fellas on here will contest to it. Once a man is interested in you, you don't have to worry about him not showing up.
You don't.
He's going to make time for you. He's going to start changing his schedule, changing his routine to put you in it.
You don't have to ask, well, how do you feel about me? You don't have to ask any of that. If he, in the beginning, you ain't his priority. In the beginning, you're not his priority. And that's hard to hear. You're just not.
Just because you're attracted to somebody, the first time you see him or her, don't mean you immediately became a priority. It just means you're attracted to him or her.
And that can't hold nothing.
All that does is get you in the front door.
That's it.
And it holds you long enough for you to find out if there's a connection.
Or not.
That's why you got to stay in the moment.
You gotta continue to keep your eyes on the Lord. You gotta continue to keep your eyes on the Lord. And so that's why I hadn't we neither one of us, we had no expectations. We was riding it out, enjoying each day. We had no expectations of no, I was like, I was still tripping at, how I get from a dating site that was dead, dead. And that's how I knew when God said, I specialize in dead situations. I can resurrect the dead. Dead profile. This man, he
and you got
wasn't
to go
on there
all
in
in.
5 years.
That's why you got to go all in. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah.
You got to go all in because you have to trust God so much that even when it looks like it's not going well, even when it looks like it's not going the way you think it should go,
Or how fast you think it should go.
you got to release it to Him
You got to release
because
it.
your timing ain't God's timing.
It's going to be or it's not going to be. And either way, it's a win-win for you. Either way, it's a win-win for you.
And
Either
the one
way.
other thing in connection to this, just in case some of you hadn't been on here long enough to hear us say it, if someone decides after you have seen them 2 or 3 times
Or 4 or 5.
that you're not the one for them, let them go. Because when have you ever lost something or sacrificed something and God didn't replace it with something better?
Let it go.
It doesn't matter how great that attraction was. If it ain't meant to be, then that means God's got something better for you.
Yep. Bye-bye. Don't block space.
Trust Him enough to know that He's got your well-being.
Yes, yes. And anytime you are stressing over someone, confused, listen to that. Because that may be that they're not the one. Because God is not going to give you anybody that you're confused about. He's just not.
He's not the,
Whoever he brings it with
Yes.
peace. So
Hallelujah.
even though you might not hear from that person in a couple of days, you good. You are good.
Yeah.
It's either going to be or not be. But what is not going to be is a stressful situation for you.
Because God ain't the God of confusion.
He ain't the God of confusion. He said, do not be anxious for nothing. So if you are seeing someone, talking to someone, and you're wondering why you haven't heard from them or your anxiety, either you got to check yourself or check them out.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, give it to God. It's going to be okay. If you know that God's got you, if you know that He has your best interest at heart, if you know this, you can rest in Him. You can rest knowing that God is working it out for your good. Period. And when those 11 months, my Facebook friend, I'm going to keep them on there, but like I was just like, honestly, the furthest thing from my mind was that this guy was going to reach out. I kept feeling something in my spirit. I was like, this is weird. Like, why is this guy, like, I know he's my Facebook friend. He didn't post on social media. We're Facebook friends, but he didn't post. And so I'm like, this is what I was saying. Lord, please let this man post with him and his new wife. So I can cancel him off my list. Like, please let this man post. Because that's how it was just really like, all right, Lord, I feel like this man is following me everywhere. I feel like and it was more of a mystery than a desire to want this man. It was more of, Lord, what is happening? What are you doing? Because hindsight, the Lord was showing me that was him, that was my person. I didn't know that until afterwards. I didn't know to say, God said you the one. And even after we met, I never told him that God said he was the one, ever. We might have had a joke about it and probably on this channel, but he never knew that. I never told him that. And so I continued to live.
The first time I heard it was on this channel
Yeah.
when we was telling our story.
I never told him that God said, and I had a prophecy right before he came. Right before he came, a social media friend, I was doing on live serving on Instagram, and somebody's husband heard me and said that the Lord had a word for me and asked if it was all right if they can reach out to me. Friends in California, they became friends of ours in California. And that night, he said, the Lord said, your king is coming. It wasn't the same word we gave, but he was like, your king is coming, and he's coming with a lot of money, and you need to get ready because your king is coming. I was like, okay. I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't really know how to take it. I was like, okay, I receive it. That was on October 17th. Yeah, I remember dates. October 17th. November 12th, Terrence came in my DM. And we have not stopped talking since.
Nope.
You don't know who's watching you. You just don't know.
That's why prayer is so important. That's why being 100% in with God is so important, because you don't know what the assignment is.
And that's
You
what the
don't
enemy,
know.
the enemy is not, because anybody can get married. The enemy is after the assignment that the two of you have. And so you don't, anybody can't do. Just anybody can do. You need to be very picky.
That's
Not
why
self-sabotage, but need to use wisdom when, you are coming across people.
that's another reason why, if it takes a little bit of time,
Let it
take the time, because you don't want just anybody. You want exactly who God has for you. Exactly who he has for you. That way, you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, he's leading your relationship. He's guiding and ordering your steps.
Celeste, you remember those dates too? Yeah, because I'm like, wait a minute. I'd be needing to go back and say, what did this really happen like this? You talking about I was in a season, I was in a content season. It was pretty dry. A very content season. And the day he came in my DMs, it was pouring raining. When I say pouring rain. It was a November 12th. It was pouring rain. He came in my DM. And so I've always heard this. Whenever there's rain, a season is changing. Seasons are changing. And so spiritual seasons are changing. So yeah. I couldn't catch that. But yeah, y'all, and we say this too. If you came across this channel, God is ordering your steps.
God is ordering your steps.
He's ordering your steps.
If you look, and if y'all read your own comments, when you say y'all's video came across 4 or 5 times,
and I wasn't gonna
and I wasn't gonna watch it, and then I clicked it. If that ain't the Holy Spirit telling you, you need to watch that video. You need to watch a video. He's connecting.
He's people to you to that's how he does. He sends people to to help you to the next, some plant, some water, God gives the increase. We're just another part in your steps.
That's watering.
That's watering or whatever we're doing. We're doing our part. And so if you destiny helpers, that's right. So if you came across this channel, you going in the right direction. You're definitely going in the right direction.
Yeah.
God ain't just putting us up here for nothing.
No, because he don't do just to be doing. There ain't no coincidences with God. He do it for a purpose. It's meant to happen.
She said, what does get ready mean? It can mean a lot of things. It means the biggest thing, of course, you're in alignment. I believe you're in alignment with the Lord. But get ready is really also a mindset, because so many of us have been, especially women, we've been conditioned to think the negative of it. And so Get ready is like really change your mindset. Get
Mm-hmm.
ready to receive.
Mm-hmm.
We've blocked so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoo.
Yeah. Stay in the moment. Stay in prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Stay in the moment, and keep your spiritual eyes and ears open.
Yes, yes. As we said all the time, you can log off of here and somebody can be in your DM.
Mm-hmm.
It is just that possible. It is just that possible. You just don't know. You don't know. And if you are trusting in the Lord, He gonna blow your mind. That's what He does. Nothing this could have made sense. It didn't make sense. How can I contact a guy? His profile is dead. How would I even if he would have used an alias like most people do on dating sites? I wouldn't have known how to find him. He used his full name, Terrence Smith. Terrence Smith. Who does that on a dating site?
I do.
He used his full name as his profile name. My name was what was mine? Marilyn Amethyst, because that's my birthstone. Marilyn Amethyst, MD Amethyst. That was my name on the dating site. He used his full name.
I am that I am.
He uses his full name. So God know what he doing. He knows. Trust him. Trust
You
him.
gotta trust him
Trust
because there's
him.
gonna be times when things aren't going to appear like he's got you, but he got you.
Yep. Yep. So
That's why you got to be all in.
yep. All right. So I guess that's about it for us. Any questions, y'all? I missed what Carla said. We'll put it up as a replay. Thank you, thank you. Hey Wanda, I'm so upset we couldn't be able to see you. We definitely gonna see you sometime before the end of the year. Um you ready? Amen. Just even saying that, you won't believe how powerful even saying that I'm ready, how powerful that is. Um, she said something about, is it true that, I think she said, is it true that God will reveal to the woman before the man? I think that's what she said. Uh, um, oh gosh, they going quick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh y'all,
Well, look, we love you
this thing.
guys.
Wait a minute, hold on, baby. Let me make sure, cause you're preparing, you're ready. And just this is the thing. Nobody's perfect. And that's the other thing. Nobody is perfect. And so don't think you gotta be like you're ready means you've gotta be in the perfect shape, in the perfect career, in the perfect housewife, or the man with the most money. That's not ready. Like that's not, nobody's perfect. Oh, of course. She said, "Have you noticed a trend of imposters showing up before the real ones arrive?" Yeah,
Yeah, but don't worry about them.
counterfeits come. You got, but you have to have enough discernment to know the counterfeit. You know, over the real thing. Ishmael always comes before Isaac.
And that's a message in itself.
It's a message.
Because if you meet somebody and they turn out to be the counterfeit, then you need to start smiling. Because
Yeah.
that means the real one is on the way.
Yeah, that's why a lot of times you have to be careful. You use wisdom even speaking about it, because again, the enemy is after the union, after the assignment on the union. And so even you got to be very careful if you meet somebody. Use wisdom in who you share it with, who you share that encounter with. And so so be very careful. Yes, you have to have discernment. Be very, very wise. All your girlfriends ain't gonna be happy for you, unfortunately. And so you got to be very wise, very careful. So,
Well, baby, we got to go.
okay.
So we love you guys.
All right.
Look forward to seeing y'all on the next
Yes, yes. And yeah, next Tuesday. But we have a video dropping on Thursday. And so yep. We'll see you live next Tuesday. All right. We love y'all.
one. Deuces.
Deuces.